in the spirit of progress over perfection, I have started recording without a proper intro. So here is today's guest, Laura Wanlass. She is the driver from Dirt Hustle. She's also a very competent navigator, but just chooses to be behind the wheel most often. So let's dig in and see what she has to say. We're here today to get the dirt from my in-studio guest, Laura Wanlass. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm a multifaceted person.
Okay, interesting.
Yes, I've competed in the rally. This will be my 7th time. Outside of rally, I am a senior consultant at Aon, where I do legal consulting, basically.
Nice.
Yeah. But I do have hobbies. I'm a mom to my daughter, Kira. I have a husband and 2 dogs. And if we're not playing Rebelle, we're probably out in the trails, off-roading or dirt biking.
Nice. I didn't know you had 2 dogs.
Yeah, Colt and Ruger.
What kind?
Mutts, we don't know.
Mutts.
Yeah.
I like mutts.
Yeah, they're good. And I taught one of them to sing.
To sing?
Yeah, it's a whole, this is probably not even relevant for what we're talking about. But when I travel for work, the dog is so sad, the boy dog. Because he always comes in the morning and he wants to howl. And he howls differently, he tries to sing.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
We can add him to our theme song.
Yeah.
100%.
Also, Liz has a little dog that we call Death Wish sometimes because she's prone to jumping from spaces way too high for her. And so maybe Death Wish can learn to howl songs. I don't know.
I like that, like a band. That could be a cool children's book.
Oh,
right?
It really could.
Yeah.
Adventures
of
Ruger
and Death Wish.
Ruger and Death Wish. I mean, the names kind of go together.
It does sound very R-rated.
All right. So, Laura is one of my mentors, one of my multiple mentors for the rally. She said you've done it 7 times.
This will be my 7th time. I've done it 6 times.
Okay, so 2024 will be 7.
Yeah.
This is the 9th year coming up? Okay, so you've only missed 2 years.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah. Long story short, Laura helped me make it through the first year. I had picked up some little tips and tidbits from her and some other people, and every morning and every night when you report back to the big tent, Laura was there with some smart comment. Most of the time she was telling me, get your together, rookie.
Yeah.
Why are you late? How was your day? Put it in the back seat. Toss it in the bucket. And I'm like, okay. But every morning, get your shit together, rookie. Okay. I'm gonna do it. So she was pivotal in my first year success of survival.
Oh, so you've picked up some of that from her because last year being my rookie year and you were my mentor, we were hearing a bunch of that in the mornings and the evenings.
Yes. Laura encourages like I encourage. So I was like, ooh, I like that. Get your shit together, Liz. What are you doing?
Don't take yourself too seriously.
That's right.
But this year, don't you feel like the bucket got full really fast? And so we were like, dump the bucket and then get it, reload it.
It was a year. I know Liz and her partner Nat last year came to me after the rally and they're like, what was that? I'm like, I don't know. It wasn't like that. My first year, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, it was hard but fun, like type A fun. Like if you could survive, and you look back, you're like, yeah, I'm pretty badass.
Yeah. We didn't get to the blank map challenge, my teammate and I. So I missed out on that. But I was like, I heard about it and I was like, I know how to do that. I was ready for that. I was ready for that. But no, I didn't make it to that challenge. Did you guys do that challenge?
Yeah, and like you, we were ready. Basically all of us playing Rebelle, we scheme all year about what possibly Emily could do to us, right? Like we do enduro math 22 different ways.
Yeah.
We think about all of the rulers and tilts. And so when the map was blank, I think they put Maria on the highlight reel. And she's so excited, dancing.
Yes.
She's the only person, everybody's like, no. And Maria's like, yes. So yeah, we loved it.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, we did not know what to do with it. We got that challenge. We went for it. And I remember Nat's face, it was just like, and I'm like, I don't know what we're doing.
Well, I won't say any names or anything, but some really great teams, they were just like deer in headlights because it's like the panic. Like, even if you've trained, sometimes when stress hits you, like all logic goes away.
Yeah.
They're like, Laura, what do I do? And I'm like, get this. You just tilt any scale ruler in that box and you will find it. And they're like, oh,
Wow.
yeah, like mind blown. And yes, I was a top ranked team. I helped, but pay it forward.
Yeah. That's always funny. Yeah, I had a moment like that year one when
Year one doesn't count, by the way, because you were totally messed up. Everybody is.
Yeah, we had been working on one scale, and then I got another scale in the morning, and I was looking at it, and I had my ruler in my hand, and I was looking at the map, and I was like, I know how to do this, but I don't actually, I can't do this at the moment. So I went to the larger scale map, and I plotted everything, and then another team later that day, they were like, what are you doing? And I was like, I couldn't, like, my mind wasn't working this morning. I know how to do it, but I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, the panic is real. And then you go to what you know. Like, think about, that's like a life parallel, right? Like, panic hits. If you can at least do something you're comfortable with, you can get back on track.
Yeah.
Because if you just got paralyzed, like, day over.
Yeah. Can I do the best thing? No. Can I do something that's good? Yes. Okay, let's do that.
That's best, yes.
Yeah. So I know I was excited when you agreed to come on. We have some questions for you.
Okay.
So you've been through multiple teammates.
Yes.
Tell us, like, your kind of evolution, and,
Yeah, sure. Okay, so let's see. I'm bad at dating because I married my high school sweetheart, so I don't have a lot of experience dating. And if you think about it, like in the Rebelle, it's not a single player game; it's a team. And for a while, I would go basically, and this is just me. It's like I was so excited that someone wanted to go with me. I'm like, yes, I'll go with you. And I didn't understand the dynamics of, like, it's not even just training for the technical skills, but like, are you on the same page? Do you complement each other? All those types of things. And so, first year, I went with Carrie and we had a blast. Like, we laughed after day one. I mean, I tell the story, you heard it last year. We really didn't know what we were doing, and we laughed at ourselves a lot, and that helped us get through it. And then afterwards, I got like, I want to be serious and train hard. And so I partnered up with Renee. And then Renee is like a badass navigator. Like, she's really good. But I think I drove Renee nuts. We joke about this to this day. Like, I would eat beef jerky in the car, and she just, like, we did not like mesh well, but we did pretty good. And we changed roles every other day. And that was hard because I felt like, I'd get my mojo, and then I had to switch to the next thing. So that was tough. And then I went with my friend Wendy Fisher the third year because we bonded. And I had my gladiator. My gladiator like blew up in the rally. That's a whole other story. Very disappointing. So I get your last year because when your car doesn't work and you've worked all year, you're so depressed, right? Like, it's just. Yeah. So then I was like, I actually got so depressed because that's 3 years in. I'm like, I've worked so hard. Should I just be done, right? Yeah. And then my friend, I say all my friends because I feel like class of 2018. That's our first year. All my friends. Maria Guitar, she looks at me, she goes, Laura, I just want you to have a good rally. Should we do it together? As friends? And I'm like, heck yes. And so, that was the birth of Dirt Hustle. And, I feel like we just hit our vibe together and had a great time. And I have a different partner this year, I can't really say, but Maria retired. Okay. She retired. It's very hard for me. She retired for now. We'll pull her back to the.
I like the for now in there.
Yeah, I had to say that. It's for now. Like, none of you go out and call Maria Guitar. You got that? Like, none of that. So I have a new partner this year, but a lot of cool things. What I would say about Maria is, we gave ourselves grace. We both learned so much from all of our previous rallies that we were able to apply to our friendship and our competition together. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. So a new teammate. Ooh. Yeah, that's a scoop, right? You got some scoop here. I have a new teammate. Yeah. Okay. I don't think I'm allowed to say anything because I'm like competing for a manufacturer and they like to announce things. Yeah. Okay. So that's our next thing because for many years you competed as a privateer. Yeah. Like, we're privateers, and seemingly the dream is to get on the factory team. Is it the dream? So a couple things. What I love about the Rebelle is, so I was a college athlete, and all I wanted to do was like go to the Olympics, be professional. And then, you slowly realize I'm not going to be a pro in whatever you're doing. All of us, right? Like, it's not going to happen. So then I go and I do the corporate grind every day, and I see this Rebelle, and I do it, and I'm like, I sign up. Anybody can sign up. Like, that's
Yeah,
cool.
right.
And then I realized, wow, like I could get good at this if I tried. So
Yeah.
I love the fact that there's a privateer option if you think about the rally. That is cool. And I feel really honored because I worked so freaking hard to have a manufacturer care enough to say, would you compete for us? Like, cool, right?
Yeah.
Just so
Yeah.
cool. It's not like everybody thinks, though. It's not like I just show up and it's this easy thing to do. I mean, last year, there's just a lot more expectations in dealing with the manufacturer. I was in a car that I didn't wheel. I wasn't as familiar. We all know I competed and have owned Jeeps my whole freaking life. And I don't even have to think about it. Like I can push all the buttons, be automatic. I couldn't do that for the first time. Like that was hard. So there's some pros and some cons, but I just think the idea that privateers can then get sponsored is awesome, right? Like name any other sports where that's really possible.
Yeah.
As adults.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that anyone can sign up kind of thing. Like that was a draw to the rally for me where it was like literally any woman can just come in and like do this. It doesn't matter what walk of life you're from, or you don't need like a big team behind you.
Yeah.
So
you said something, I like that, like anybody can do it. And that's why like when we talk about partners, I think every woman who competes is brave. You think about what we do. We put ourselves out on a stage and we suck really bad at first, right? Because you can't know how to do the game until you do it. So like at the end of the day, no matter how annoying any of us are or anything, it's like you do feel camaraderie towards everybody. Like it is a lot of brave women getting together, doing something adventurous in a very public way.
yeah.
And it's like a sisterhood. I mean, we're all competing and like, sure, I desire to beat you one day.
We want to beat each other.
Right. But if you were DOA on the side of the road with a flat tire and you needed a wrench, like I'm stopping to give you the wrench because
100%.
We're not only competitors, we're a sisterhood.
And it's every team is like that. Like, 2019, I was in the Big Dunes with Rochelle Croft the year she won. And we had 5 cars. You're not supposed to do 5 cars in the Big Dunes for a lot of reasons. But one of the cars was teetering.
Yeah.
They put their competition on the line, and I mean, it's obviously they could have got their time back, but like it didn't even dawn on them not to like stop and help.
Right.
And I'm like, that's like totally the Rebelle spirit. It's like we all are going full tilt.
Yeah.
We all really care about each other's safety, and if someone's struggling, like you said, like I was teasing you because I'm kind of a smart because I hung out with guys my whole life.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So like, suck it up, Avis. You know, like, I mean, you kind of need to hear it. We all need to hear it from each other.
Yeah.
And you can only get that if you're friends.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, a stranger on the street tells me that. I'm like, who the heck
Who are you to talk to me like that?
Right?
Yeah, but you like intuitively know that you're like one of the other crazy women doing this event.
Yeah.
We're paying money to do this event.
Yeah.
To torture ourselves for a week in a cool way.
I mean, we could do a lot of other more relaxing things with that money.
We still say that. Yeah, we still say
Yeah.
that, but it's like having a kid and you forget how hard it was.
Yeah. I don't think I forget.
Yeah.
This year my theme was, can I go home yet, Liz?
Oh yeah, we said that so many times where it was literally I was like, I need a shirt that just says I want to go home.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a joke. I start to obsess about food objects that we can't have on the rally about like halfway through. So then I make the mistake of talking about it. Because like once you talk about it, like you become obsessed. I'm like, all I wanted this rally was an In-N-Out burger with green chilies on it. Really bad. And like a Coke with ice. It was like killing me. Like I just wanted that.
Okay, so year one, I don't drink sodas or anything, but year one we had a fuel stop and there was an A&W inside.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
And so I ordered the fast food burger and the french fries. And while I was waiting for it, I got a cup and I stood right by the soda machine. I filled the cup with ice and then I filled it with lemonade and I drank the whole thing down. And I filled it with lemonade and I drank I just stood there drinking the ice cold drink.
And then you had to pee like 800 times.
Oh, then I was on like this crazy sugar high.
Yeah.
The rest of that day was great.
But it's funny, like when you get deprived of something,
Yeah.
like how much do you appreciate it?
Yeah.
Right? Like it's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh, the food. So my first year, the food was, I would just say, better than last year. How would you rate your years of food through the rally? Because
I'm a bad person to ask.
you're a bad person to ask.
You guys, I get so amped up that like I literally just eat beef jerky, those little waffle things, and coffee, and I'm like so nervous I hardly eat the whole rally. Like
Okay.
it's like my stress reaction is like I'm just gonna. So at least I drink electrolytes now, but like I don't eat that much, and then I feel like Drew Deckman puts rosemary in everything, and I'm allergic to that. So like,
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
Rosemary.
yeah. There's like whatever herbs and seasoning he uses is like, wait, it messes me up. I have a stomach ache the whole week if I eat it, or maybe I'm just nerved up. Who knows?
Well, my last year teammate had tomato issues, and there was tomatoes in like everything.
Yeah, but it's funny. I feel like it's like once you start thinking about something, you see it everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it happens. It's the Matrix.
Well, I really enjoy the food.
Like eggs and whatever. But like seriously, do you both not get nervous to like you have an appetite the whole week?
I eat.
I'd eat dinners. The
Liz?
dinners were in the mornings. I could not eat breakfast. Like it was just like I'd do coffee, and then I'd like pack a little breakfast, and I would take it with me. And then like halfway through the day, I'm like, I should eat this. And then I'm like, oh, Nat's getting hangry. Here, I'll give this to her. And then I just didn't eat until we get back, and it was like, oh my gosh, there's dinner. I want to eat so much, and it was like I could barely eat anything, and then do it all again. So
yeah. We did the what are those like Gatorade little energy blocks? They're like gummies. Yeah. They taste like candy, and they're kind of like a tree with electrolytes. And,
those are great.
So I think we snacked all day, and I feel like once we learned that you drink a lot of electrolytes and you snack all day, you don't make as dumb choices, right? So,
yeah, food helps.
Yeah, it does. But I can't eat my meals, so yeah.
Well, for Liz, the center console is a snack bucket. That's where all of her she likes to keep all her.
Is it also the bucket, or is it just?
No, that's in the back seat.
It's in the back seat. Okay.
Where you can't see it.
Yeah, I was like, wait, do we want to mix the snacks in the bucket? I'm not sure.
Yeah, you could grab the wrong thing. Yeah, that could be problematic.
That sounds yucky.
Yeah, it does sound yucky. It's funny. We started saying that. I think Susie McBride used the first time.
Okay.
And where I started to do that is I'm probably going off your script here.
No, there's no script.
Okay, so the first year, Marie and I competed together. We were like doing great, and then the Big Dune night. You've heard about the Big Dune night?
Yeah.
We don't sleep. The windstorm. Like Maria sat up in the passenger side and slept like that.
Oh, wow.
I laid in the back seat across our bags and the Max tracks, and I woke up with the Max tracks like pressed into my face, like the knobby part. So we didn't sleep, right? And so we had an epic, crazy day where that morning she didn't finish all her plots. You know how you feel if you don't finish your plots. It's not a good feeling.
No.
And she never not finishes her plots. And I could just see she wasn't herself, and I didn't feel great either. And we got super lost right out of Big Dune, like right out to the gas station, because we thought we were going to take a shortcut through town. Note to self, it's never a shortcut. Like, just take the trail that Emily intended you to take. And we like got lost in like a solar farm. All kinds of stuff happened to us that day. So we recover from that. We get back on track somehow. We only threw away like one checkpoint.
Nice.
But then we do another dumb thing. Don't realize it. We get to Dumont, and we were like hauling butt through a canyon. We get to Dumont. We get to the green, and we want to do a black after that. We got there with like Nina and Tara and some others. And I get there, and you might remember Michelle, who was working the green. She's like, "Oh, good, you made it." And I'm like, "That's a weird comment." And I'm like, "Whatever." So, and then I don't pay attention. Like, everybody obviously clicks and leaves. Not me. I don't click. I take a heading off the green because then we're going to use that to get to a black. And we proceed to like work on a black for 30 minutes, and then we don't get any points. That's even the best part.
No.
And then we go back. I don't see anybody. We click the green, and then we're like, weird. We only have like 30 minutes to get to the next checkpoint. We're like, that's weird. And as we're fueling up, and we're like, why are we fueling up? We need to go. So we go, and we get back on track. Anyways, it's a self-camp night. So we don't know that what we had done was blue and green. We missed a green. And so we go through the whole next day, and we do really good the whole next day, like really good. We pull into Pirates Cove. Yeah. Pull our scoring sheet, and it shows that we missed a green. Maria's like, we're protesting. What is this? We don't miss a green. And then all of a sudden we both kind of look at each other, and we're like, and I'm remembering Michelle Croft go, wow, you made it or whatever. And I'm like, no, but we were devastated. Like, I can't even, like, your first instinct is like day 4 or 5 maybe, is like, my rally's over. Like, that's your first instinct. Like, oh, I'm done. And so we're both like, she's crying in her tent. I'm kind of mad, and I can't be mad at her because like I also like had a hand in this, like in multiple ways, including the "Hey, you made it" comment, like hello. But then all of a sudden I'm like, number one, like it's not over. If you blew a day, doesn't matter. Crush the last 2 days. Like go out on a like anyway. So I walk over to Maria, I pull her out, I say, put it in bucket. Let's get dinner. And then I hear Mama Hohen, giggling in the back, and she's like, I like it. So we went to dinner, and I just remember that night, like, everybody's talking, but I can't hear them because I'm like so like bummed, but trying to go through the motions of like pumping myself up.
Yeah.
And then I learned that night though was like, number one, you never let your teammate feel bad.
Yeah.
Never. Like I was like, she needed to not be in her freaking tent by herself. And then we sat at the table together. We went to bed, and then we were like the next day we're like, in some ways it like took the pressure off. It's like, man, we messed up. Let's just do the best we can and put it all on the table.
Yeah.
It was like a cool like mental reset because we let it be a mental reset.
Nice. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, but anyways, that's the genesis.
I like it.
Yeah.
Just toss it in the back seat and keep on moving.
Yeah.
Liz and I have talked a lot about like strategy and, because like you said, you learn something. Every year you learn something. So my first year I thought, oh, I'm so smart.
Yeah, right? It's cocky
I
kind
know
of, right?
so much.
Yeah, because you master a skill. You're like, I can plot. Yeah, okay. Yeah, good
right.
for you.
And then these are the things that went wrong. So my next teammate, because my first year teammate was, she's still in early family life.
Yeah.
Like she has a toddler. She's now pregnant with another child. So it's just not the right time for her. So she did it once and that was it for her. So then I needed to find a new teammate.
Yeah.
And so, you make this list. Okay, this is what happened the first
Yeah,
year. And these are things I learned. So these are the things I want in my next teammate.
You're so type A.
Yeah. But I learned a lot again this year.
You do, because we're all humans. And it's like, how do I find the human I'm going to mesh with? And can we talk about these things? And we have a common goal. And,
yeah. I would compete again with any of my teammates, even though some of the situations were a little hairy and, a little uncomfortable. But in the car, teammates and I, good.
Crush it.
Yeah. What about you, Liz? What's on your new list? Like, what do you think you learned that you're going to apply for this year?
Teammate specific or just in general?
In general. I mean, you can talk about teammate if you want.
Well, I mean, I definitely, we've talked about it, but I learned that I need to know a lot more about plotting because I was the driver last year and Nat was the navigator, and I learned how to plot, but like not really well. So when we were out there, like at checkpoints and stuff, and we're trying to figure out the next one, and it's like I just realized that I just didn't understand. Like I understood the maps, but I didn't understand then how we were getting to the next place or like how I could
100%.
help. So it's like, to me, that was like so important coming out of the rally. I was like, okay, like more driving skills. Yay. Do need those. But like, I really need to understand plotting better. And then like the route planning.
Over and over. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a powerful statement you just made, though. I just think that's the most common issue from a driver perspective. I did it my first year. I'm like, yeah, that's her job. Figure it out. Like she should know that. When she panics or has a moment where you're like, I can only use the 200 scale map. It'd be nice if you're able to say as the driver, like, hey, no, we can plot on the 50 scale map, and here's how you do it, right?
You know how to do this.
Yeah.
Let's move the ruler. Yeah.
Nice. That is the difference too between being like proficient to being like great. Right? Like the next level up is when the driver really gets nav.
Yes.
Because you can totally be strategic in the car together, and the navigator's, navigating at speed, and you know enough as the driver to give the inputs to the navigator that they need. That's the tipping point.
That's my goals. That's my goals right there.
Yeah. I like to talk about it like the navigation is a whole new language.
Yeah.
And until you kind of understand that, like as the navigator, when I'm telling you something, you don't know, are we full speed for 3 kilometers, or are we in a situation where I need to be calling out and slowing down when I see roads coming because we might need to examine those roads? Or occasionally I'm going to look at my driver and go, okay, this is where I think we are. This is what I see. This is why I think we're here. But what do you think?
Yeah, and that's a good thing.
I would like a backup opinion, so.
I'm not going to say who said this, but a really great Rebelle last year, because last year was the worst year, hardest year ever, right? It was like day 2, and we'd all like clicked on a fake blue. Like, we've been falling for that 2 years. Come on, Emily. And the driver comes up to me, she goes, Laura, our navies are broken. And I said, hey, they're not broken. They're stressed. I'm like, so when they show you, they're like, especially after you click the bad blue, you like want a validation. Like, do we agree that this is where we should click? Like, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
So it's good to have that communication.
Yeah.
Now these aren't broken. It's just a stressful position.
It is stressful, and my rule is I will not click the yellow brick. I won't do it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like doing it as a driver. You're like, I've been sitting here. I'm gonna go and click it and look. And plus, you get all the photography, right?
Oh,
Lizzie,
that's
go out
true.
and get the clicks. Yeah.
How many pictures you see to me? Hardly any.
Well, yeah, they get the one that you get in the camera with, or in the car with your head down.
And the double chin.
Yeah, like
and
it's
the
the
reading
worst, right?
glasses.
Yeah,
It's
totally.
great. It's
Yeah.
great. I'm like, yeah, that's me, the ugly one in the car.
Hey, it's okay. Everybody said this year I look angry when I'm in the car. I mean, that's the whole, like, I had the debate. I'm like, it's not resting driver face. It's intense competitor face. And no, I did not, like, glare at you. I didn't even see you. I was competing. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in the zone.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's not personal.
But no, I'll get us there, but I am not going to click that button.
That's
Like,
okay.
I have such, like, button anxiety, that, like, I can't do it. I push it maybe 3 times a rally.
It's so funny you say that because I know on like a black diamond where you're like, please be right, please be right.
Yeah.
I'm sure when they're reading it to you, I have that thing at work. Like I help companies anticipate what an investor is going to say, and there's this report that gets issued. I'm terrified. I click on it and I have my eyes closed until it comes out. I'm like, please be right, please be right. That's how it is. You're like,
Yeah.
and it's the black on or not.
Exactly.
I feel you.
Yeah, I won't do it. I mean, I do it under duress, and then I'm like, did I do it right? How long do I hold the button? Is this it?
Yeah, then you're double checking. Did it have the right time?
Yeah.
We write down the time. After
Yeah.
our moment, I'm like, you always check everything. Did I really get that point or not?
I write down the coordinates
Oh, yeah.
and what time I was there. Yeah. So if I have to approach Chrissy,
Oh yeah.
I love her, but she's a little bit scary.
It's because she's got intense Rebelle staff face.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because she's not wrong. I think in our minds, it's like my daughter's in here. Children lie sometimes, and I think us rebels lie sometimes in our minds. Like we justify like what we're arguing about. So she's like, "Bring it, bring it." Do you really have the facts to get a reversal? You know?
Yeah.
Probably
Exactly.
Not. Probably not.
No, but yeah, if I ever have to approach her, I want to have all my little ducks in a row.
I can't even tell you how many times me and Carrie our first year because we just didn't understand the game at all.
Yeah.
And so like we would just. I think one time the yellow brick just kept clicking when we drove the whole time. So it was like 52 clicks. And we're like, why do we have -90? And then like for the first, we didn't even like think to ask for the first few days. And then we're like, hey, could we have got these back? And they're like, you need to come in every night when you see something wrong and talk to us. And we just never understood. And so I would say like, obviously read the rule book, understand the game. And if you don't, when you're first year, you got to go talk to Chrissy or Melly or usually Melly, and just ask a friend, what does this mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Melly, always start with Melly. She's so nice.
Yeah, she's awesome. Yeah. And Melly's an awesome competitor too. She was an original Rebelle.
Yeah. She's told me her story before. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. I feel like we need Liz here right now. You need to be in here with us.
I know. It's like too far away. I just squeeze right in the middle right there.
California. I have a third stool. I just need a third microphone.
Yeah.
We can do this.
Yeah, we can all squeeze in there.
Exactly. I did have a question. So your placings, you podium quite a few times. We talked about the elephant in the room though.
What's the elephant in the room?
No first place.
Well, so I mean this. I think this game is incredibly competitive. You know, we were talking about it.
Yeah.
I'm down in southern Utah, wheeling with Tara, and like we all tell each other everything we can strategy wise, and it comes down to execution. I just think this is the most competitive atmosphere. Like I know I sound cheesy, and I know like I think Emily's said this numerous times, but like any one of us could be great for a day, but it's really hard to be great for 7. And it's like really who can overcome mistakes and be consistent. And I mean, I'm always gunning to win, always.
Who's not?
Totally. So I feel like my day could be there, but I'm incredibly proud. You know, just getting our result. Like if I've done everything I can and it doesn't shake out my way,
right?
Like you can be disappointed, but I feel good because I know I did everything I could. Like
yeah.
I look at Sam and Becky from last year. They are as tough as you can get, right? Okay, 4th has to be the hardest spot, right? But man, they are top rated competitors. There's like so many, you guys, everybody. So like at the end of the day, I'm like we're slaying it together. Yeah. And if you can scrape your way into the podium, it's a big deal. But I mean, I think it's a mental thing. So Do you want me to go a little bit into that?
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's what you're here for. We want the dirt, all the dirt.
all the dirt. Well, I'm a dirt hustle.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, we might tweak the name this year. Anyways, I think there's the basics. Like, you have to know your car. It has to be autopilot. You got to know everything about your car. You got to know the basics in nav. You got to be able to play the game. But the emotional aspect is the toughest. Like, when they throw all those challenges at you, or you have a crappy day, if you can be consistent and you can stay in it, and it means different things to different people. But for me and Maria, I'm always like, if we can stay in X position, don't get caught up, because I'm like, I know if we get to the dunes, we have a chance, always, because like, you know what your strengths are. Like, I know the dunes, so I know if we can stay in it till day 6, day 7, we're always going to have a chance. And that can be different for everybody. But like, if you're great at rocks or navving somewhere else, be like, I need to crush those days to be in a position when it matters, and not give up at the end, no matter how freaking tired you are and how much you want that cheeseburger from In-N-Out.
I've never had an In-N-Out cheeseburger.
Oh man, I don't know why. I don't even think they're the greatest burgers, but for some reason I like fixated on it last year because they put the peppers.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you get them with the little onions and like the animal style. Yes. Oh yeah, you started talking about that. I was like, that sounds good. I haven't had one of those in like a year, but
see, I'm gonna go get one. Yes. But so the podium's nuts every year. And I would say going privateer to manufacturer. Obviously, the manufacturer wants you on the podium. I'm like, and people are like, oh, are you under so much pressure more? I'm like, are you kidding me? I try to win every year. I'm like, you can like whatever. I'm trying to win. Like, so for me, it's the same thing. I don't like let other people's expectations like affect me. I did year 1 because I was so embarrassed at how bad I was. I was like, oh my god, everybody sees me being bad. No, everybody sees that you did a badass competition, right? Because that's just you being tough on yourself.
Maybe. I know when I click in the wrong spot, my husband's on the other side of that computer being like, what are you doing?
No, my husband does it too, but they have mad respect for you.
Yes. I'm my best supporter.
Yes,
but
100%. Yeah, but you can't think about that. You gotta be present. Like, that's the other key. It's like, you can't be thinking about the outside world and do well in the Rebelle. You can't.
No, I mean, I know it's happening, but it is.
They make you giggle a little bit. Yeah, when you do make an epic mistake, you pop a tire. I can hear my husband FMKO2s. Because they're listening for the scoop from whoever the reporters are.
Yes. So do you look at your score at night? Because Liz, do you look at your score at night?
No, we went over this. Like the 2 nights I did, I was like, it ruined me. But I'm like, okay, if I can see it in the morning, then I'm like, all right, whatever, new day, let's do this. I can crush it. But yeah, if I see it at night, I'm like a disaster.
You do. I just go be sad in my tent by myself. It's not get sad. It's like I just like process it in my tent.
Yeah.
No, I look at it because it's like a variable. Like I'm telling you, I love the game.
Yeah.
Like, I like to know what I have to work with. Like, beat yourself up, move on. But what do I have to do?
I like to know what I did, how it shook out. Did I move up or down? Who else moved up or down? Did we all have a bad day? Was it just a bad day for everybody?
Like, it is context to the data.
That makes me feel better.
It's big data.
Yeah, big data.
Yeah, see, I just want to do that in the morning, like first thing in the morning. That's when I want to do it.
That's because you're the driver. She's like, no, I need to be past that and just plotting.
I don't have time in the morning.
Yeah, she's like, no, I don't need to have that kind of stress. But there's plenty of teams that don't even look at all and they don't want to know. And it's the mentality kind of makes sense because you're like, I'm just trying to crush it every day. At the same time, and this is my athlete self, you do consciously or subconsciously adjust your effort based on where you are. And I do think, and I think some teams rest on their laurels because this happens every year. You get kind of cocky day 1, day 2. You're like, oh yeah, I'm crushing it. I hear it in the tent, and you're just like, I kind of walk away because I'm like, I don't need that. I don't need to be cocky. I don't need to hear it. Like, because when you rest on your laurels is when you make your biggest mistakes. It's like, just don't think like that.
The coach in me, like, I like to see it. All right, we had a good day.
Like that was a really strong punch.
Oh, sorry,
it's okay.
Okay. We had a great day. Like, this is good. We did a really good job today. I say nothing about tomorrow. I just want my teammate to understand, like, we did a good job today.
No, that's
okay, all right, so we had a little bit of a tough day today, but that's okay. It happens. We knew it wasn't great. Like, if it's not good.
No, you feel it.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. It's like, as a driver, because haven't we all seen it where you get out there and you see some people berating their partner, and you're like, hey, your partner knows they made a mistake. Like, they know it in their soul that it wasn't good. Like, acknowledge it, move on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Exactly. Year 1, Tara and I had a few tense moments.
It happens because you're just reacting under stress.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We all do.
Yeah. Just get out and take a moment. That's what I like to say. Just get out and take a moment. How long is that moment? We're going to decide that before we go on the rally.
Dude, that's normal.
Is that 2 minutes?
Don't send that email. That's our version of don't send that email. Like, feel it, take a amygdala hijack, let it calm, and then come back. Yeah.
Last year, my teammate got out of the car to go check a turn.
Yeah.
We were in one of those one-way sections. We're just trying to figure out, like, was that the turn? And, so things were a little tense. We were having some vehicle problems.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Gosh, she's been gone a long time."
Maybe processing.
Yeah, I was like, maybe she needs a minute. And then I was like, sitting there a little bit longer. And I was like, okay, at what point am I concerned versus giving space? Because I'm feeling like I might need to go search and rescue one.
You're nicer than me. If you ask Maria, she says I don't let her pee or wipe when we compete.
Okay,
I heard that. I'm like, there's a pace, people. Like, you process in your car. You're frying your Cheerios. We gotta get going,
Right?
Yeah.
You're one. Tara and I had huge time management issues.
There you go.
Year one, a couple of days, and I kept coming in at night and being like, "Laura, I just gotta figure out how to pee less."
Yeah, there's tricks we won't talk about on the podcast, but you should stay hydrated, and maybe you don't get to wipe. It's okay. Just like compete, our joke is like Maria gets out, she's going as fast as she can. I always say Maria because she drinks a lot, and I'll have the window down and I see a team coming and I'm like, oh no, we're gonna get stuck. I have a trail tampon. I'm like, Maria, get in the car. She's like, oh no, she's like, hurry and pulling her pants up and we get going because no offense, but some of the trails are narrow and you're like, you're gonna get stuck.
Yeah. The worst is, sorry to say it, you have a cross car coming behind you and you're like, no, come on.
No, totally. And it's not like it's just a pace. It's like different vehicles, different drivers have different like ways they like to go. We like to keep a pace. So.
Yeah, but there's a speed limit.
100% speed limit. I stay within the speed limit. Yeah. I'm the lawyer in me. I'm like, we gotta follow the law. But it's interesting because having switched from a Jeep to a Bronco, I think my perception was I always thought like Broncos looked like they were speeding. Now I'm in a Bronco. I'm like, no, it's because we can go over whoops so much faster. I'm like, oh, it looks like we're legitimately hauling butt, and no, we just aren't getting thrown everywhere, and we can go over whoops faster. So sorry on the Bronco people, because y'all weren't speeding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely jealous a few times. I pulled over in the Tundra and like let some of the Broncos go, and they're just like, again, over the whoops, just like eating it up. And then I start back and I was like, oh, I wish I could do that.
I have to say, like, I love Jeep Wranglers. They're so capable, but I've never been so comfy in Johnson Valley in my life. Like, I was like, this is phenomenal. Yeah, I was like, just boop, boop, boop. I'm like, I'm not, and Maria's like, I'm not getting thrown everywhere. I was like, yes, enjoy.
Yeah, the IFS life is nice.
Yeah, exactly. It's IFS. I'm sure other IFS vehicles probably can relate.
The Broncos are nice, though.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah, the Raptor has nice shocks that you can use sport mode, off-road mode, or normal.
Yeah.
Adjust on the fly with the button. It's pretty sweet.
Adjust on the fly with the button.
Yeah, I have to say, I grew fond of it. It's interesting, though, because, like, you like what you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
I was not comfortable with it for days. It took me a chunk. And it's like, once you get comfortable, you're like, oh, I just need to learn to drive the thing.
Yeah, I've been a Jeep girl. In my first year, we were in a Jeep, and so... like, I took that for granted.
Yeah.
And then last year we were in a Bronco, and I was just like, do I know what any of these buttons
You don't,
do?
right? It's weird. You're like, this is a different language. Stay bar disconnect? Isn't that a sway bar disconnect? No, it's a stay bar now. So it's just different terminology, different electronics. Jeeps are more push button versus modes and electronics. So it's just a learning curve, which is cool. You challenge yourself, something different.
Yeah.
How much time did you get with the Bronco before competition?
I had a couple trainings, like I took it to the dunes before, and it's kind of like, it doesn't tell you the full capability just going to the dunes, because it's just fun. like a horsepower and flying up the dunes and doing stuff, but not a lot. And so what I would say is, and this is why when somebody was like, it's so easy being a manufacturer person versus a privateer, I'm like, well, not really. I knew my car inside and out. Like I know everything about where the Wrangler is. I could go at speed down a slot canyon and be like, I'm not going to hit anything. And the Raptor, I'm like, it's as wide as an H1 Hummer. I'm like, I gotta I was like more ginger, trying to, because I didn't have the muscle memory. So like this year's different. I still have the rig. I drive it around. I feel way more comfortable that's everything, right? 'Cause the less you have to think, the more you feel, the better you perform.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So you get to keep it, or you just have access to it?
Well, I'm driving it right now. I mean, I don't think I get to drive it right now.
Okay.
I shouldn't like overstate the relationship at this point.
Right.
I do love it though. His name is Wilbur. We've named him Wilbur Montgomery.
No, nice.
Yeah.
Wilbur. Liz likes to name her trucks.
Yeah, we've named all of our vehicles.
Of course. Yeah. What's your competition rig?
The one from last year, our Tundra, is Pam. So Pamela.
Okay.
Pamela.
Pamela.
That's
Yeah,
so
but I mean we
cool.
call her Pam. So she's from Archer, the adult cartoon. So we also had Archer and Lana were our two Jeeps that we had for a while. Mine was Lana. She yelled all the time. It was very fitting. Let's see, what do we
like that.
have? We have the Forerunners named Ellie, just because it's cute.
They have personalities. They deserve names.
Yeah.
Avis, you need to name it, even though it's an inanimate object.
Well, I named some of my vehicles, but not all of them. It just depends if they speak to me or
And
not.
if you love them.
I had a white Wrangler, and I named it Lucy. Because inside, the Rubicons are red, and so it's like a redhead,
That's
like
cute.
Lucille Ball.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. I think that's what Susan Piper named her red Wrangler was Lucille. She even had it like on the side of her
Okay.
Jeep. It's cute.
Yeah. We have a little rock crawler in the driveway, and that's little Jeep, even though
Yeah,
it's
little Jeep's cute. It's
it's-
kind of like big Jeep.
it's on big tires, but it's 2 doors, so we call it little Jeep.
I get that.
Yeah.
We have Skippy. My power wagon's name's Bandito. My diesel Wrangler used to be called Vin for Vin Diesel,
Oh,
but
that's
he's
cute.
long gone. And then we named Wilbur the Raptor because it's Trail Piggy.
yeah. I did name the rig I was in last year Fat Betty.
Yeah, that's cute too, though. They're just
Bronco.
beefier. They're
the
beefy.
first time I saw my teammate try to turn it around in a
Yeah.
tight area, and I was like, she's a fat girl.
Yeah, but that fat girl's comfy, so you like it.
It was fitting.
Yeah.
We had Betty and Pam together a lot.
Yeah.
Or did you guys run on the trail together a lot? Were you connected? on the
No,
valley?
we ran in Glamis, but
That's
as a foursome, because I had a teammate and then Liz had a teammate. We kind of created what we lovingly came to call a pod.
I like the pod.
And so, as you know, we arrived at Glamis, and it was like, oh my God, is it cold? And then I think Liz was like, yeah, it's freezing. And then I was like, are we cuddling for warmth?
Oh yeah, in
And so
Mammoth.
she-
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Liz moved into my tent with me.
I forgot how cold that was. I did give away a lot of my little heat pad things I brought.
Yeah.
I had the sleeping bag outfit, so I was fine.
I mean, I probably would have been okay.
Yeah.
But Liz was like, we need to cuddle. And I was like, do we need to cuddle? Yes, we need to cuddle.
Do you guys
So-
watch Alone or like Naked and Afraid?
Yeah.
We'd all die.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
But so Liz moved into my tent for warmth because I have a small one of those
Yeah.
or I don't know how to
Coochie
say
tent.
it. Yeah, the little like 3-person tent, and so we moved all of our stuff into her tent. So my tent was our house, and her tent was the garage. And then after Mammoth, it was kind of like, are you moving out? Are you gonna sleep in my tent again tonight? And she was like, do you want me to? I'm like, I kind of enjoy it. So
Not
we
by
had a little
yourself.
pillow talk at night. It was nice.
See, I do
Yeah.
my own tent thing. My new partner was asking me because she's always shared with somebody. She's like, "Are we sharing a tent?" I'm like, "I don't think you want to share a tent with me." I'm like, "I think I'm annoying." And I like to just like go to bed early and get up really early to hang out with Tara Lynn. So I'm not a good tent mate.
Yeah, going into it, I was like, no, I sleep alone.
Yeah.
Like, I need my own tent. I sleep alone. It saved my first year, but it was so cold. I was reconsidering. And then I was like, oh, it's kind of nice.
So layers, like I copied Carrie Lando and bought that Selk bag. She's had it like every year. And I'm always freezing. And sometimes I like to help plot. And I'm like, I can't plot if I'm shivering. So I slept in the sleeping bag outfit in my sleeping bag. I was like, I'm so warm. And then I went out and I'm like, this is the first time ever. I was not cold at all. It was awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I wasn't cold at all.
You guys,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's the best $200 ever. Just like, even if you look dumb. I mean, you do look dumb in them. I mean, Carrie looks good, but I look dumb. I think
But you're tall. Try being 5'2".
But
They don't, I mean, do
yeah,
I need
yeah.
a kid
It was.
size?
I got like the large bin size, and it's big on me. It looks dumb. Becky wore one, and she looked cute in it. I'm like, oh, probably because Becky's always got cute hair. And stuff.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm getting one for next year. Like,
Yeah.
Or this year, I guess. I'm getting one for this year.
Yeah. I highly recommend it. And then if you buy it, you won't need it, and that's fine too.
Right?
Yeah, that's okay.
I was kind of holding judgment to see where start line is.
Look, I just think you should prepare for cold no matter what. Because if you have what you need, and it like doesn't weigh much, I'm like, suck it up,
Yeah.
buy the salad bag, put it in your bag, and then if you need it, you need it.
But it's so big.
No, it's like this big when you stuff it together. It's a little stuff sack.
It's a little stuff sack.
And I just shove it in a corner. I had it the year before and it wasn't cold enough. I didn't use it. I really should have because it did shiver a little bit. But I was like, it's not that cold, and I didn't want to wear it because I looked dumb. And then last year I was like, I'm embracing the warmth, and I wore it.
Okay, but then you're warm and you have to pee. What? Then you gotta like.
Yeah, that was annoying. It reminds me of going
cold?
skiing. It's like you go skiing and you have to take off your outfit in a little small construct. I mean, I definitely would not go to the restroom in a porta potty in that thing.
Right, that was my next question. Where are you?
I go in the shower one.
You're waiting for but that's a line.
No, not usually. Like I go way before. I get up before everybody else, and then I usually have a cup of coffee, and then I still can get in there when everybody's crazy plotting. You know.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I time it right.
I mean, I get up pretty early, but I'm not ever the first one in line.
Yeah, there's even some more life hacks that we could do in the early morning. Like if we wanted to, we could just make our own coffee. We should do that.
Yeah, we discussed that.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say we should just do it because I think I'm picky about the coffee. I don't get my normal coffee consumption at the rally.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna put this politely. The caffeine quantity is not a normal cup of
So are we just
coffee.
gonna get up and make some? Like I'll bring my jet boil and we'll make it in the morning? Okay.
Yeah.
Although the jet boil is like there's an art to not burning your face off with coffee made by jet boil.
Oh, yeah. No, so I don't let it boil,
Good.
and then I also usually add a hair of cold water.
Yeah, that's a smart. I don't do that. That's a smart.
I make it a drink. I made multiple cups of coffee for Liz. I like to say it's a drinkable temperature.
Yeah. I boil it every time. I ruin it.
Okay, so we'll have a coffee club this year.
We'll have
Let's
a
do
coffee
coffee
club.
club. I'll bring some specialties. You bring some, and we'll see who's good each day. It'll be good.
I'll work on my
That's the point.
skills.
Let's have your coffee. Yeah. Barista here.
Right?
Yeah. That's a good skill. You could add that to your driver resume. Like, I know nav, I can drive well, and I have great coffee. I can make a great coffee.
I have great coffee. I can froth your milk in the morning.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Can you that?
Oh, challenge accepted.
I did not anticipate the 2 marathon nights, and so we had only brought a few like iced coffees, cold coffees in our fridge, but because of our little pod, Liz made me on the rally even a couple cups of coffee because she was like, I'm making coffee, do you want some? And I was like, duh. Here's my cup.
I always bring those like spicy ramen bowls is what we make on marathon night.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
It's pretty good too.
I can't eat that.
Really? How come?
I don't do spicy.
Oh, well.
And I don't eat noodles.
Okay, I like the noodles. I like it better than eating the dehydrated food.
They
I guess technically the noodles are kind of dehydrated, but you know what I'm talking about, the packets.
They're different. Yeah, they are different. This last year I found a food from Good to Go, it's called. It's like the dehydrated meals, but they have a mushroom risotto.
Ooh, that sounds awesome.
It was really good.
Okay, I might.
I did not enjoy, I bought the oatmeal for breakfast and it has like raisins in it. I don't like raisins.
Yeah. The other thing we did was Maria found these tamales to go from Trader Joe's.
Oh.
You know what the cook them or anything? We just open it up and eat a green cheese tamale during the day. It was so good while we're driving. I was like, it's strangely delicious.
Huh.
Yeah, I recommend it.
Yeah, I like that as a snack idea.
Trader Joe's here.
Yeah, I'll send you guys the packet. It's awesome.
Tamales.
Yeah, they're
that
good.
you don't have to heat up.
Yeah, you don't. They were good. They tasted good. The bean and cheese ones, green chili ones, they were great.
Nice. I'll investigate that.
I was gonna say we do talk a lot about like rally foods, like what would we bring in the car, what would be better in the car, like what would be a better breakfast, like we're talking a lot about that.
Food, because it's like the one like comfort, like it's like one thing you can control in the rally because you can't control much, so you can bring good food and try to feel happy when you can.
You're not sleeping your normal sleep, you're not eating your normal food, the days are probably much longer than your normal life.
Yeah, and you just don't think to take care of yourself. Like you hold your breath too much as the driver. I breathe. And I got severe dehydration that year. My Gladiator kept dying and starting on fire. Like to the point I had to go to the ER the night of the Glamis event at the end.
Oh,
yeah,
Revelation?
yeah, like I went to the bathroom and I'm like, that looks like really dark Coca-Cola. I'm like, oh, that's blood,
Same.
Yeah, I mean, I've changed my whole mindset. Like, duh, like that was dumb. I probably was making poor choices the whole time being that dehydrated. So
Yeah.
I definitely think electrolytes and being cognizant about drinking a lot is important.
It can
Yeah,
be hard to remember. Sorry, it can be hard to remember. Like we did camelbacks and like some days we were like really hydrated and other days it was like we had the little camelback hoses and we would still forget. It would be like, hey, have you had water?
Yes.
No, I haven't had it either. So
you build in like we had like rules like every something kilometers, take a sip, or you click, take a sip. Like we had like rules. Like you start to
Okay.
that helps you.
Yeah.
I think what else? It's a helpful one. Just so you bring your best self. Because if you're not, like that's just another variable that you're making tougher for no reason.
Yeah.
That causes you to blank and use the 200 skill map.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's sometimes thinking in the morning.
No, it's not. I'm not. That's the thing. It's like we all pull up to the line and we're like, why do I do this to myself? Like you do think it.
Yeah.
It's like in any competition.
Can I go home now?
Yeah, totally. It's like you were saying, we could go on a tropical vacation.
Oh, a really nice one. For a very long time.
Did you ever run track, either of you?
I briefly did cross country.
I was gonna say it's like that moment before the gun goes off and you're like, or like enduros, right? Like you're like, like once it goes off and you're in it, you're like, okay. But the point is like you have to take care of yourself. And what's the first thing you sacrifice when you're stressed? It's like taking care of yourself.
Yeah. Well, it's hard because how do you take care of yourself when everything is foreign?
No, that's the whole thing. That's why it's like rookies. It's like give yourself grace. You're gonna make dumb decisions. Like, you don't know all this. Think about all the stuff we just covered. It's like a million different angles.
Yeah.
I'm still learning. I still screw up. I still click on the wrong blue. It happens. It's just like a lot of decisions. It's a game of decisions.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like last year, Liz and Nat, I kind of took them under my wing, and my teammate last year was a rookie, and so I had these like 3 rookies, and I was imparting as much knowledge as I could. Yeah. But then during the rally, it hit me. Like I thought, oh yeah, you can teach a rookie enough to like give them a leg up, but you can't prepare them for the emotional drain that is the rally.
7 days is scored, 8 total.
Yeah.
That's the kicker. Like I said, even the best have a moment in time in the rally or the day 3, whatever, multiple times. Maybe you have multiple day 3s.
Yeah.
You don't know what that is when you're a rookie. Because, the best is like, this is why I was cocky year 1. I went to one training, okay? Didn't figure anything out, me and Carrie. And it's like that people try to win training.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
No.
Like you should be literally trying to like refine your skills and figure out what you're weak on and work on it. Like no one gives you points for winning training.
Yeah. You're there to learn. But you're there to make mistakes, learn, get better.
But that's like our pride. You know what I mean? Like you're like, because I think all of us are like probably successful to some degree in our life, or we feel confident in our life, and you go there and you want to feel the same way.
Right.
But you can't be expert at something you've never done.
No.
Yeah. Humble pie. Humble pie.
And there's so many skills. Like, it's not just be good at this. Yeah. There's navigation and tools and math and communication and relationships and just
someone gets sick.
And
your
right?
car breaks.
Your car breaks. Yeah.
It's a lot of variables.
Yeah. I mean, the car breaking, like that's an interesting thing. Like I know Liz and Nat, they had a flat and they had, was the CV joint? Axle?
Yeah, we broke the CV axle. So we'd replaced that. And then the next morning we woke up and we had a flat. So that was fun.
So it's like, how do you deal with that? So they learned an important lesson. They missed your start time, right?
Yeah. So with the flat tire, we hadn't seen it in the dark. And so we didn't see it until we're coming out like to, your 15 minutes beforehand to line up for the start line. And I like walk around and it is just like flat. And we're just rushing to figure out like, change it. Like what kind of leak is it? Did we run over a nail last night after we left the mechanics? We have no idea. We're frazzled. It's day like 5. So of course we're also not thinking right. Yeah. We're super tired. Yeah. So we change it and we're within like 2 minutes maybe of ready to drop the truck back down, throw the tire in, and they're like, can you be in the start line in 30 seconds? And we're like, no, And so we got basically thrown to, it's like, okay, we've lost our start time. Now we're all the way in the back, like starting behind everybody. It's like, oh my gosh. So
Isn't that the worst? Yeah, it's hard. I've been there a million times. Like my first year, we drew last or second to last almost every single day.
that felt
You're
like
by
this
yourself.
year. That was like
Yeah,
us this year. We were last so many times that we're like, why are we last again?
And it's such a creepy feeling when you're just trying to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's like a comfort in being in the pack, even though that messes with your mind a whole different way.
Yeah.
Right.
When you're rookie though. But like the being by yourself is hard.
Yeah, I know. The first time we pulled up last year, and there were cars all over the place, and I was really secure in where we were going, but I looked at my driver and I was like, "Welcome to your first mind screw."
Oh yeah, we just I like to keep a pace where we get up front and we run our own rally. I love that. I like to be decisive, and because that messes with you. It's kind of like multiple choice. Usually, your first instinct is correct if you followed your process.
Yeah.
And then you
That's
see
so
somebody
true.
you really respect over there. You're like, oh my God, Tara's up there.
I know, that's the worst.
Don't do it, Laura. Don't do it. No.
Yeah.
We look at each other, me and Maria, and we're like, did we follow our process? Do we feel confident?
Yeah.
Click and go.
Yeah. Click and go.
Usually it works.
And when it doesn't, you still click and go.
But you just can't let other people mess with you, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You have to try to, like you said, play your own game. But there's so many people and they're all over, and you're
See,
just
that's
like,
that's a
"Oh."
whole other thing. And then remember, we're not all in the same group or have the same checkpoints.
I know.
And that's also hard as a rookie because you're like, oh, like what is that person of mine? Or you don't know, just follow your process if you have one.
You should have one.
Yes,
though.
yes.
If you have one, you should have
I'm
one.
making fun of myself. I don't
Yeah.
think we had a process. Yeah, you list all your fears. I was terrified of the dunes the first year. I mean, like I did it and I'd done like a little bit of training, but like it's like the athlete thing. It's like I hate shoulder press, so I know I need to do it more.
Yeah.
I was like, I better do more dune driving. So like I definitely ramped up my dune driving. So then it didn't become a fear anymore, right? Because like it's like any of the stuff that scares you
Yeah.
is something to work on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a fearless passenger.
I like that.
I mean, probably to a fault.
That's a good thing. That's good because then you're trusting the driver and you're doing your thing.
Yeah. Last year, my teammate came to this screeching halt, and she looks over and she's like, "What? Nothing?" I was like, "Are we in danger?"
Yeah, you're doing your job. I'm doing my job. You're doing your job. I like that. Yeah.
What? What do we do?
Yeah, I like that.
Here, one Tara went up on a dune, and then she was like, "It's not it. It's not it," and she aborted, and I was like, "I think we were fine." She's like, "We were not fine. There's something wrong with you."
Are you like Alex and Old? Like, do you free solo?
Huh?
Do you do free solo? Like, you don't climb with ropes? Just kind of go.
Oh, I mean,
no fear.
yeah, heights don't bother me.
Oh, okay, I'm starting to see a pattern. Liz, take
Okay.
note. Like, I think she's very fearless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the passenger seat.
Okay.
Note. All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having
I
me.
think we're going to wrap it up. I think that's been a good time. Thanks, Liz.
Yeah. Thanks, ladies.